Okay, so NetApp, you are launching the AFF A-Series systems, and I think that the reason for it, you say, is to support the most demanding IT workloads. So perhaps you can just say a little bit about the background before we drill down a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, already this year we've launched, very dense, high-capacity flash systems, and also ones targeted at block workloads of applications. What we've launched as part of this launch are a refresh of our kind of mid and high range AFF storage controllers. And those are really important because what they actually bring for customers is they bring double the performance, which of course is massively essential for not just applications, but for AI workloads and for being able to drive data at the speeds that's needed for AI outcomes. But those same platforms also deliver much better density of data, giving customers, a 35% improvement in the amount of data they can store compared to previous versions of our platform. And also with the capacity technologies that are built into the platform, customers are able to reduce their sustainability footprint as well. So it's all about, this release was all about performance, but the platform also brings additional capabilities around about security and also around about integration for AI as well. So a really important release.
Yeah, and I think NetApp's own research points out that the success of AI relies very heavily on both data and IT infrastructure. So again, that's one of the drivers behind this launch. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, AI really, I suppose, kind of falls into two brackets in terms of what they're trying to deliver. It's firstly about trying to deliver performance for those outcomes, because GPUs are an expensive resource, as are the data scientists who, are manipulating the data. So these new platforms help customers deliver the performance to get outcomes quicker, but also deliver massive scalability so that customers can build. We're seeing a lot more demand for customers building production AI environments, and those require that power, at scale to deliver that. Also, intelligence, it is about the data that you can feed into these AI workloads, being able to deliver that data, move that data around, because we don't just deliver data on the hardware platforms which we have. We can, with our on-tap operating system, we can deliver that same data into AWS, Azure, and Google as well, and connect those environments together. So as customers build their data pipelines, they often encompass a hybrid multi-cloud model for how they want to deliver AI services. NetApp can be the underpinning unified data storage that sits underneath that. And that just removes complexity and speeds up the outcomes. And the other piece as well is because data is becoming much more it is the lifeblood of the organization. It has to be secured and protected as well. So there are new features in this release to improve the availability of data, but also to improve the security of that data, especially around about cyber resilience and ransomware protection. So a lot of important features in this launch that really help customers in that respect.
Yeah, and so the AFF A-Series, it's unified storage, and I believe one of the objectives and what it delivers is it eliminates both the storage silos and also storage complexity. So perhaps you can say a little bit more about how that.
Yeah. So I mean, this launch brings, for those slightly more technical, it brings the A70, the A90, and the A1K are the new platforms which have been launched. But effectively, what they bring to that is they bring not just unified storage, but we also launched a SAN-only version of that platform as well. So we have customers who like unified, so they can run file services, object services, application block services on the same platform. But some of our customers prefer just to run their block services on a separate platform. So we have a version, the ASA version of the AFF, which is available as well, which gives customers that capability to separate their data. They can have unified or file. They can run block only if they wish. But the key thing that sits underneath this, and this is what makes NetApp unique, it's the same storage operating system that runs that platform, whichever platform customers choose, whether it's the unified version, the block version, or whether it's in any of the public clouds as well. And that standardization of operating system means that you have one set of skills to manage it. You've got one set of features, abilities, which you can drive, across all of those platforms. So it really helps customers deliver their data at the scale and reduces the complexity of delivering those services.
Okay, and we're talking all flash storage, and as you said, various new models. So it'd be good, I guess, if you can give us a run through of all the main features and also the benefits that they bring to the user?
Yeah, well, nowadays, so the different models we launched, the A70 and the A90, they're what we call modular systems. They effectively are a 4U chassis. The disk drives are slotted into that chassis, so up to 48 drives. But these can deliver up to 3.7 petabytes of raw storage within that modular chassis. So a huge amount of storage. And actually, we don't see many customers in those chassis needing more than that. But the A1K, if they do need more than that, they can add additional external shelves to that. So the flexibility options, it really is a matter of choosing what performance you're looking for, what storage and what flexibility and expansion needs do you need for the future. So the models deliver that kind of capability to drive that flexibility for customers. But I think the key thing about these platforms is the doubling of performance from our previous version, so the models which they're replacing. And that's a massive improvement for customers. But then also the fact that we can deliver not quite double the storage efficiencies which customers will get, but significantly improve them, certainly by 35% to lower the cost per dollar, if you like, for effective terabyte of storage. And that means that customers moving their data from existing NetApp platforms onto these will see a 35% improvement in the storage density that they get with these new models. And that's, obviously that's money at the end of the day and savings that they can achieve from that. And that's all through the technology that this platform opens up.
And in terms of, I mean, it's probably, well, it is too early because you're launching it right now, I think, in terms of customer feedback. But have you been doing some testing, beta testing and all that with selected potential customers or whatever? So have you had any feedback, I guess is what I'm asking, from users as to, what you're introducing and how impressed they are?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we beta test everything, obviously, as you'd expect, with a select set of customers who've been under non-disclosure until today, your time. And they've been really impressed with the performance. But it also brings, because it's the same operating system which they've had previously, there's no, it's almost like when you get the new iPhone, you think this is great, it's nice and shiny, and it's very fast, but then it's still the same iPhone, it runs the same stuff, it works in the same way which it did. So I think the big thing for customers is that this model just is effectively an improvement on something they already know and love. So they don't have to relearn something. It's not a new architecture. There's nothing like that. It just delivers these hardware improvements in terms of performance, storage efficiencies that customers can get. So it really kind of ticks the box. And also, those customers have been able to non-disruptively upgrade into these models from their existing platforms. So they've not had to go through any kind of forklift upgrade, which is often, with other platforms we've seen occasionally from other vendors, that's been an issue and a case. So this makes it a lot more easy for them to transition into that this new platform as well.
Okay, and as a company, you've been busy because I know you're also releasing or have released additional capabilities in terms of NetApp's data management and integrated services focus. And I think there are various sort of things to discuss there, so perhaps we can go through them. So I think one of them is the new storage grid models. So it'd be good to understand what's going on there.
Yeah, so we do, obviously we do our ONTAP platforms. We also have our storage grid, which is an object-only platform, highly scalable, up to many multiple petabytes across different locations. That whole platform has been refreshed, so new hardware across the board. But also importantly, we've introduced what we call QLC disk drives into that platform. So this is high capacity flash drives, which deliver better price per terabyte for customers that are looking to store data. So in a storage grid arena, storage grid is now capable of storing data sets on flash, but on capacity flash, which delivers a faster outcome. And we're seeing a lot more use cases for this type of platform nowadays. We're seeing customers using it as backup, as archive, but we're seeing customers developing production applications where storage grid is the back end of that application. Objects is, because of its scalability, the fact that you can store billions of objects with metadata wrapped around them, it means that businesses can get much better outcomes in terms of how they manage their data. The storage grid system itself takes care of distribution of data, protection of that data, connecting it to cloud services if customers wish, and they can do all of that at scale. So this refresh of the storage grid platform is a big, it's the first time I think we've actually refreshed the whole product range at once, but it's, with new hardware, it means customers get much better performance and capacities from that system.
No problem. And then some of the other things we go through. So I think there's something to do with Cyber Vault's reference architecture. So again, if you can perhaps expand on that.
Yeah, the security piece has been quite important in terms of this release. So we've released two things. Firstly, NetApp is the only vendor that can actually do ransomware detection on the primary storage system. So we're in data, we actually detect the right patterns that are happening to that data. And if we detect what we think is a ransomware attack, we trigger a protection snapshot and then give customers the option to then clone that, recover from that. So they can recover, they can minimize their data loss from a ransomware attack to just a few minutes. Whereas with a solution, even though it might have ransomware detection built in, you could be having a window of data loss of 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever it happens to be. So that capability has already been available within our storage solution for about the last year and a half, probably actually maybe 2 years now. What we've released with this release is that we've now embedded machine learning pre-trained models into the platform. So the ramp-up period to learn what a ransomware attack looks like is instant. As soon as you turn on the feature, it's 99% accurate in terms of identifying ransomware attacks and then triggering the protection mechanisms and giving you the recovery options. So that really helps make us the most, we title it the most secure data storage on the planet. And it's probably one of the reasons that we're the only vendor who's been certified by the NSA for the storing of confidential information, for example, in the US. So this really gives us a high security product with protection and detection capabilities for cyber attacks and for ransomware attacks as well. So that's a big advantage in that respect.
Okay, and then I believe the SnapMirror Active Sync is another addition or something that you can perhaps talk us through.
Yeah, so SnapMirror Active Sync was previewed on the previous release of our storage operating system. It now goes general availability, so it's publicly available fully. Basically, that gives us the ability to have across 2 sites active LUNs that you can access and with synchronous replication between them. That effectively was the last SAN feature we needed to tick all the boxes in terms of being able to provide for mission critical environments. And it's used a lot by the likes of VMware. They can create, you can stretch a VM across 2 sites, have the data written to from either site. So you've got full protection of your data. If the site goes down, all the data can still be written to on the other side. And that level of protection and capability just means that customers can deploy their mission critical applications knowing they've got the full protection that they need in the event that they lose sites or lose access to one side of the equation in that respect.
And then working down there is the Flex Cache with write back. So again, if you can just give us a bit of
it's a caching feature, so you can store a centralized data set in the cloud or on an ONTAP system in another location. And previously, that feature was a read-only cache. What it meant was you could have thousands of clients attaching to one set of data. Because we cache it, they get hard read access to that. So it was used a lot in things like HPC environments, in rendering farms, this type of thing, where they need to have thousands of clients, but a single data set that they need to access. The write back feature means that now we can have those clients read-write access that data without any latency of the writes going back. So the technology just means now that the customers have a read-write data set that they can use at high performance. There are a few other features that came in our Blue XP launch around about protection, so disaster recovery for VMware. We can do VMware DR from one site to another. You don't have to have SRM, or I think it's called Live. I'll get this wrong, probably Live View, I think it's called now. But that capability we can build into our storage array so that it does the protection and the replication for you. And that just means that customers can build really a secure environment using NetApp as the underlying layer, and also help them reduce the cost of delivering some of these protection mechanisms as well.
And back to AI, I suspect, because one of the other things was NetApp, the AI pod with Lenovo. So what's involved there?
Yeah, there was a lot of AI features. I mean, this whole release is really targeted at providing, it's targeted at mission critical applications, other use cases, but AI was the big focus for this launch in terms of the capabilities that we can bring. And we announced a few different things there from an AI perspective. The first was a certification of NetApp's AI pod, and that's a combination of DGX from NVIDIA, NetApp storage, to build to build base pod base pod solutions. We've already can do a super pod solution as well. The OVX piece is interesting because the OVX certification from NVIDIA is about certifying the use of GPUs in servers with storage to deliver more of an inferencing or a chat GPT style platform in a box, if you like, for customers. So we launched, we certified the OVX configuration so that we can be a certified storage platform for that. But we also launched with Lenovo a reference architecture with them so that you can deliver a pre-configured AI in a box solution with Lenovo Compute and NetApp storage and obviously NVIDIA GPUs in that solution out of the box. And this is really something that our partners can pull together for our customers. They bring all those components together. There's a pre-designed, pre-architected, pre-tested solution that they can then position to their customers. So that chat GPT in a box solution is something that we expect to see a lot of customers being interested in because of the demand for generative AI type environments that we've seen at the moment. It's been one of the big kind of drivers for what we do. So yeah, and the Cyber Vault feature, which I actually didn't just mention just then on data protection, that's also aimed at helping customers secure data, whether it's AI or other workloads. We now have an logical air-gapped Cyber Vault solution, which effectively means that if customers have data, but they want to have an air-gapped version of that data, which is immutable and indelible, if they have the ultimate tragedy of losing their primary systems, for example, our Cyber Vault solution gives that configuration so that they have that last point of recovery. But it's a logical one, so you don't have to have a dark site with no connectivity to store your last copy of data. This is using technology to ensure that version of data that we're having as a secondary copy cannot be tampered with, cannot be deleted, therefore giving you that air-gapped version that a lot of customers are looking for. So there's been a huge amount of protection capabilities released in this, but also for whether that's mission critical applications or for AI workloads as well.
Okay, and I think the last thing I had on the list was the Blue XP classification. So again, if you can just...
Yeah, I'm really excited about this feature. So for those that don't know, Blue XP classification is a tool which will scan all your unstructured data, and it will then identify two things from that. The first is it looks at the metadata and can help you optimize that data. So it identifies cold data, duplicate data, data that's never been accessed. And with that knowledge, customers can then target that for deletion or for archiving or for moving to better platforms. And that's really important, not just to help customers manage data or to do as a pre-migration tool exercise before moving to the cloud, but it also helps them reduce their sustainability footprint because data is driving infrastructure, which is driving power, cooling, floor space, etc. But the other feature of Blue XP classification is the ability to look into the data and to classify it. Does it contain personal information, confidential information, company confidential information, credit cards, dates of birth, emails, whatever it happens to be? The tool will actually analyze all of that, classify, and enable you to tag and then make decisions based on what that data contains. But the capability that we just launched, or the feature that we just launched as part of this launch, is that product is now free for NetApp customers to use on data they store on NetApp systems. And that's a huge advantage to customers because previously they paid for the tool full stop on a capacity basis. Now, if they're a NetApp customer, if they're storing that data on NetApp, they can drive that classification tool at no charge across those data sets. And when you look at AI, this is really important because the AI, you need to ensure that you're delivering the right data sets into your AI models so that you're not wasting GPU resources, you're not processing data that has no relevance to your outcome. Blue XP classification enables customers to understand the data set so that they just choose the data which they need. And making that free to NetApp customers now means that those that build AI platforms on NetApp gain classification capabilities so their models use optimized data. But equally, with all the other benefits we talked about the high performance platform, we can deliver the security, the intelligence into managing the data. It's an amazing outcome for particularly AI workloads for customers.
And maybe just in sort of finishing off, it'd be good to have your own thoughts the storage industry. There's various opportunities and challenges ahead, I guess, because there's always a bottleneck, if you like, somewhere within the overall IT infrastructure. And so I suppose what are the challenges and opportunities for the storage technology in particular to make sure that that's not where the bottom, as everyone's looking for more feeds and speeds, particularly with maybe AI driving everything. Is it only opportunity for storage, or are there some challenges as well that it faces, I suppose?
Well, I mean, storage is about storing data, and the data foundation, particularly for enterprise AI, as customers move into this world, is really important. So I think the storage platforms have a huge step to play. We've seen a bit of a commoditization across the years from vendors. What we're trying to build into our solutions is to build in data management, and that data management being available in data centers at the edge, or even in AWS, Azure, or Google, and standardizing that data management means that customers can reduce the process bottlenecks, I suppose, of managing data at scale across these. But then as security of data and the landscape and the threat landscape changes, being able to deliver the most secure data storage on the planet on top of that for your data storage as well, puts us in a unique position really in terms of solving some of those challenges that customers have. Data is the key component that customers use to get their business outcomes. So it's important that you deliver an environment that can optimize the performance, deliver better data management, security, and deliver that into the applications that you're trying to serve, wherever those applications have to sit. And that's really the value proposition that NetApp bring to customers. We talk about it, calling it intelligent data infrastructure. That's really data infrastructure that is delivering all the things we just talked about just now in an intelligent manner, leveraging AI in the tool sets and the platform itself to really deliver better outcomes for customers. So, it's essential that we do that for our customers.
Okay, it's been great to chat, and I appreciate you giving me time, particularly where you are on the time it is. But some great insights shared, and Grant, really enjoyed chatting. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, welcome, Phil. Thank you. Thank you for talking to me.